do this. Why? Why am I so pale? I mean, is it better if I'm away from the camera? Like, is there a way to... No? No? We don't want to do it? We just want to do this? Hello. Wait, how do I say your name? AirTub31? Is that really it? Okay. Who's here? How is everyone? I take some of the light away. Is it better? It's a bit better. Okay. You made it. Miss Janessa Elizabeth Grant. That is my name. Stranger Things 4 is getting crazy right now. Is it? I stopped watching after like episode 8 of season 1. Yeah. I don't know why. I just stopped. I just did. But anyway, wait. It's getting crazy, but you're taking a break to hang out with me. Thank you. It's good to take breaks, you know, especially if you're in the whatever it is. What happens? Like, does it stay just with the under something? Oh, my mom's here.
Your papa is at Metro. He's getting blueberries.
This is my mom.
What else?
Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
No, you can like say hi.
Who am I saying hi to?
Just there's like 7 people on.
Oh, hello.
What? Are you shy? We're out of oats. Great, you guys get to find out what I like. Okay, okay. I need frozen blueberries. Bananas. No, it got eaten.
But I can get another one anyway. But
There's none. Oats, avocados,
Avocado.
lemons.
Lemon.
Okay. Celery. Rather celery.
Sure.
Sure.
I think that's good. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. You guys want anything?
We have bananas with their getting some apples.
I'll get bananas.
Don't get bananas.
No, do.
Yeah.
Get bananas.
Okay. You guys want anything? Last chance. Gelato. Get some gelato. He's actually going to get it. He's not going to know that that's a joke. That's what I eat, guys. I eat frozen blueberries and bananas. And that's it. That's how you keep a slim figure. Okay? My top secrets. If I were to do what I eat in a day. That's it. What else is there? Okay. Aw. I'll tell her you said that. My mom is pretty. Hi, Hannes. You're watching the Champions League final. Oh, everyone's like into their watching things. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But I'm sure it's riveting. Oh, my dog's here now. So, should I let her out? Okay. Well, I'm not. What am I watching? What am I watching? I started watching The Essex Serpent. Again, but I'm reading again, so I'm reading Jane Eyre, and I'm so into it. I'm so into it. You have to go to the Top Gun movie tonight. Like, did they do a remake? I've never seen the original. What's going on? I feel like I don't know what's going on in the world. There's a Top Gun remake? Stranger Things is still happening? What's happening? What's going on? I don't know. It's a strange new world. And at some point I have to go out into it. You know it's not the same as it was. It's a sequel. Now wait. Top Gun, is that Tom Cruise? Or is that someone else? Again, I have not seen it. I'm sure there's lots of shooting. The world has changed. Or have we changed? You know? Have we changed? Tom Cruise. Okay, it is him. So he's in the sequel? How is he? How's he doing? How are you doing, Tom? Huh? It's worth watching. Okay. Lots of airplanes. That's right, he's a pilot. Is that the one where he falls in love with his instructor? Like some blonde girl? He's old, but still, yeah, I feel like he's gonna be in good shape till he dies. Is he old now? Did he go gray? Has he embraced it or no? Yeah. Apparently Tom Cruise has really intense eye contact. Which I used to have too. I went through this phase where I was like, and then it's very powerful to do that. I'll just tell you guys, like, it's very, very powerful to not look away, to just take in someone. And then I was like, this is a little too intense for some people. I'm not gonna do this anymore. But lately I was like, I might go back to doing that. Because you feel very seen. So seen when someone does that to you. Like they're just taking you all in. Yeah. And not a lot of people can do that. Like they get shy. They get like, and they look away. But just to be able to like stand there and take and like look someone dead in the eyes. It's very powerful. He dyes his hair. Or is he just amazing and doesn't go gray? I had some on that thumbnail. Good. That's great. I'm glad. I do my best. Okay. I heard that the original movie was changed because the main character didn't end up with the female lead. What? Like, originally it was that they weren't supposed to end up together, and then they're like, oh, let them be together. Like, I feel like I maybe saw the ending. Why was that recommended to me? The ending of Top Gun. Maybe because I was into, like, coming-of-age movies, and that was shown as, like, I was writing a coming-of-age movie, and maybe that was shown as an example. Hi. Oh, shoot. I'm gonna say your name wrong. Yijit? Hello, Miss Grant. It's 1 a.m. here. Wow. Take care of yourself. Have a nice day. Oh my gosh. Thank you. You too. Go to bed. Go to sleep. I hope you have such pleasant dreams. The test audience reacted poorly. Good almost morning. Hi, Blackburn. Okay. Good almost morning. What does that mean? When does morning actually start? This is a great question. Like, is good almost morning basically night? You know? Like, does morning start at midnight? These are the questions to know. Are there other groceries I want? That's what I'm thinking about right now. For me, it's after midnight, so it's morning. So the studio reshot it. I bet that happens with a lot of movies. Well, they're like, give them the ending they want. Just give it to them. Like Get Out. I think there were, How many endings were there to that? There were a lot of endings. Just give them what they want. That was the case in Pretty Woman. Like, they were not supposed to end up together. Nope. He left. And she was supposed to, like, go back to being a prostitute. That's how it was supposed to end. I'm all for that. Like, come on. Don't make people leave the theater feeling awful. Your brain is a pile of pudding. I like that language. It's very visual. First Blood was still on. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about movies. I'm going to get into today's topic. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about today, but I decided I was going to talk about excuses. Because this is something that I've noticed I do. Let's see if I can get everything across. Hi, Manuel. Hi. Oh, I want to know how you're doing. I want to know if you started working out again. Okay, excuses. So this is something I noticed I do specifically. I probably do it all over the place, actually. But I've noticed I do it specifically in piano lessons. Okay? And I'll catch myself, like, my teacher gives me a note. He's like, oh, the left hand is too loud or something. And I'm like, yeah, that's because blah, 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 blah. And I give this whole, like, history, this whole reasoning, like, oh, my left hand is this, this, this. And, oh, I haven't ever developed my left hand. Or, oh, I don't hear it. And I'm like, I'm learning all these things. And I spend, like, 5 minutes explaining myself. And he kind of sits there quietly. He's a really good teacher and very, very patient, which I need. And he's like, But I know, like, he isn't moved by my explanation, by my excuse. Because all he's saying is, like, the left hand needs to be quieter. So whatever you need to do to make that happen, do that. Now you know that. So for me to give an excuse in that moment, I am just creating a world in which I can't do that, actually. Like, that's what I'm affirming in that moment, is like, oh, my left hand is loud, and that is because I have this problem, and I have this problem, and I have this problem, and I have this problem. So it's understandable that my left hand is loud, and it's understandable, too, that my left hand might continue to be loud forever. And people do this all over the place. Like, they create these worlds for why things are the way they are. I mean, obviously, like, we live in a world of reason, of, like, oh, we want, like, substantiated evidence as to why things are the way they are. And the truth is, like, I'm not going to say that there is no reason, but it's like, you don't need it. And unless it's something that you want to maintain, unless it's something that is good, like, I would get used to making a habit of like, just staying silent. Like, you can hear your little, oh, but that's because, oh, yeah, but, and just like, okay, I'm just gonna take the note. Or, you know, like, if I'm late, I'm not gonna give some excuse. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not going to say, oh, it's because of this. It's because of this. I couldn't be here because of that. Like, it doesn't do any good. It just wastes time. And again, it just reaffirms that, like, oh, there are things in the way. There are obstacles. I cannot do that because of this, because of that, because of this, as opposed to, I just didn't do it. I'm just late. I just didn't respond to your email. And this too is something that I was thinking about. It's like, be honest, basically. Is this a one-time thing? Really? Is it? Or is this like you? Do you show up late? If so, they have a right to know that. If it is a one-time thing, again, you don't need to make an excuse. But if there is information in your reason, are you going to amend that? Like, that's the only place where an excuse is useful, is if it's a kind of diagnosis and you're like, the reason why I did that is because this happened. Okay. And now seeing that clearly, that like, oh, the reason why my left hand is louder is because I don't actually listen. I don't actually like separate them and make them two different voices. Oh, great. So now I have that information. So I need never like give the excuse again of like, oh yeah, it's because I never developed that skill or whatever the hell it is. You know, they're like, oh yeah, it's because no one ever taught me how to listen. Oh yeah, it's because like I didn't I didn't have good enough teachers, or oh yeah, it's because of this, it's because of that. Like the only reason to listen to an excuse is if there's information in it that then you can use that as leverage and like, oh, okay, so that's what's missing. Oh, so that's what I need to do now. And this is also something that like I tutor a little bit on the side, and I was thinking about this today as I was kind of like, I don't know, whenever I have like a live stream, I'm thinking over what I'm gonna say, but I was noticing like I have students who never give explanations. I have some who do, and I'm like thinking of one in particular. He doesn't give an explanation as to why he got the answer wrong. It's not interesting to him. Like, I don't know. He just I don't know if he like has no shame about it, but he's just like, that's just what happened. And this might seem like, I feel in a way that we've been like cultured to like give reason, to like defend ourselves, to be like seen as these good people with good intentions who would have done it if this just hadn't happened. And so we have to make up for it. We have to like, oh, I'm really sorry. It's all of these reasons. I really am a good person. I really do try my best. I really do all these efforts. Like, it shouldn't have happened. I know it shouldn't have happened. We're like apologizing. So much of making an excuse is apologizing, but there's nothing to apologize for. Okay? If you got it wrong, it's fine. You got it wrong. Now, do you know why? Okay, don't do that again. But there's nothing you need to apologize for. It just is what it is. You just did what you did. That's all there is to it. And it's not right or wrong. It's just what happened. So you don't have to like bolster it and protect it and like cover it and feel like you're vulnerable for having done this thing. You really don't. And that's kind of too what I mean about like, be honest in that you are going to make mistakes or you're going to have habits that don't exactly align with some people's expectations. Okay? And if you're willing to like change those habits, fine. But if you know you're not going to change, don't pretend. Don't go, oh, it's just because. You just did what you did. You just chose what you chose. Okay? And you made a choice. And to be like a little bit more, to go a little bit deeper with this, is it's like, can I put this in a very clear way? Okay, so all we have, okay, I'm gonna try. All we have is the present moment, actually, all right? And everything else is just story, really, okay? So your reasons, your excuses are past, and there's story. There's just here, there's just now. Okay, if any of you guys are familiar with the idea of void state, the reason like why you want to enter the void state is because that's actually what's like true. We fill in all the reasons, all the past, all the details, all the story, all the but it's actually not there. We're fresh, we're clean, we're blank slates at every moment. But we add in all these, I'm this way because, I'm this way because, I am this because of this. But it's actually not true in this moment because every moment is made fresh, new. Okay, so void state is like anything is possible. Really, anything is possible. And so to make an excuse, instead of thinking of it like you're justifying or you're describing, you're explaining, it is the way it is because of this. Instead, think of it like you're creating in that moment a completely different thing. Like, so now you have a problem, and then to like make that problem even more real, I'm going to create something new. I'm going to create a story around the problem. Okay, so now the problem is even more real. And then I'm going to create a story around that, and a story around that, and a story around that. And you're creating. You think you're explaining, but you're creating. in that moment. And you're protecting it, and you're making it more and more substantial and more real. Which is why I say, if that's something that you want, go ahead. Apply all the reason, all the logic, all the justification, protect it. But if it's like, if it's not actually something you want, just you chose what you chose, and you did choose what you choose, like what you chose, like you're late because you're late. Try saying that when things happen, like like you played a wrong note because you played a wrong note. It's just, it is what it is. Or you failed the math test because you failed the math test. It just, you don't need to add another story. Oh, you failed the math test because you're bad at math. No. Now you're just creating something else. All that happened was you got a bad grade. That's all that actually happened. So, as much as possible, look at where you're making excuses. Like if you think of an area of your life that you're not happy with, and you think about, like, honestly, this is kind of a great exercise, is ask yourself, why don't I have this? And just notice the excuses, the explanations that come to your mind, okay? And they're not true. They're just stories that you've created for yourself to justify this problem continuing to exist. You know, it's like, oh, I'm shy because da 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 da. Or, what can I think of something in my head that's, what's something? Oh, I don't have a car because, this is like really basic, but I don't have a car because cars are expensive and I don't need it. And I have this whole world substantiating my claim of not having a car. But the truth is, like, I'm choosing not to have one. That's it. It's all just choice. It's all just something that we're just adhering to. We're just saying, yeah, this is what it is. So, okay. So no more excuses. Or at least notice when you're making an excuse. And just shut up. Like, just go, I did that because I did that. I did that because I did that. And just then know what you actually want and what the goal actually is and what the action actually requires. And just stick to that. Okay? Don't like slide backwards into, oh, I did it because of this. I do want to add a caveat onto this because I think this is important for people who beat themselves up. Okay? It can be helpful to find reason, meaning, how do I put this? If you're someone who tends to basically take things very personally, and there's a word, like if you tend towards defectivism, I think that's a word, but that's basically what I'm describing is like, if you feel like, oh, the reason that things don't work out is something inherent about you, okay? That you're defective, that you're bad, that you're the worst. And if something goes wrong in your life, you're like, well, that's because I'm a terrible person or whatever it is. You know, if you tend to beat yourself up in that way and always find blame with yourself, then I would say it's helpful to look at things really logically and go like, okay, let's pretend that like you are not special. You did nothing wrong. You just didn't know how to do something. So what didn't you do? Or what didn't you know? Or what happened that caused that has nothing to do with you personally? That can be really freeing and an important step for people who lean in that direction. But I would say don't stay there. Don't stay there because you don't like look at it objectively like, oh, I didn't know how to do that. But don't stay in the like, I don't know how to do that, or like, no one taught me how to do that. You know, don't stay there. But if that's a stepping stone for you to see that you're not a problem, then please use that. Okay, that's just my little caveat. That's all I have to say today. I know it seems like really short and sweet. That's all I have to say. And just like stand by your decisions and see them as decisions. Like, don't ever feel like you have to apologize. Unless you want to apologize, and then don't give an excuse. If you apologize, like there's something contradictory about like, I'm so sorry. I only did it because of this. Like, basically you're saying I'm justified in having made the choice I made. You ride your bicycle, Manuel. I love riding a bike. You don't need one. Well, good. Great. How my hair is looking? How's it look, Brian? You can't see it. It's hiding. Can you tell us the title of your romantic comedy you're working on? Is the title still in the works? I don't have a title. Like, it's about like people on a film crew. Like the main character, I think I wanted something related to that. The main character is a costume designer on a film set. So I think I wanted to be related to that in some way. But I don't know what it would be. So right now it's just like, it's called On Set. But I don't think I like that. That's what it's called so far. You live in a rural area, riding a bike may turn into road pizza. A road pizza. Okay. All right, guys, this might be a short one, but yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about? It's interesting as I'm like feeling really good these days. And as that progresses, like I feel less and less need to talk self-development. I don't know how to explain that. But it's what I've talked about for so long that I'm like, okay. But I kind of just don't know how to explain it. It's like I just feel like you're good. Just chill out. Just chill out. Everything's working out. You're great. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. Just enjoy yourself. just be yourself. Be happy with wherever you're at. Yeah. I tutor French. I don't know if there's a lot of graduation celebrations. Yeah. EG asked if I could talk about like be the good you want to see in the world, basically. Haven't I talked about this? And the place I'm at right now with that, honestly, and this is me personally, okay, is if you tend to be a bit of a self-sacrificing martyr, I would say that's bad advice. And my understanding of it too is like the outside world is a reflection of the in. So if you're not seeing any good in the outside world, that's a reflection of you. Either your beliefs about the world or your current frame of mind, your current state. Okay? So, being the good that you want to see in the world is right. Because once you are that goodness, it will shine out. All right. But I think for a lot of people actually, like we need to stop trying to prove our goodness. Because I think true goodness, like, doesn't come from a place of like, I need to do good. It doesn't come from that. It's just like a natural way of being. I wonder if like us being good and kind and cooperative and loving and sharing and all of that actually is like our true nature when we're like really ourselves and really like tapped into like our own lives and our own purpose and our own like sense of well-being and love. I think when we're in that place, which is like where we should be striving to live at all times, then goodness just kind of pours out of us without us intentionally trying to do good in the world. You know, like you can't do good without seeing the bad. It's like, oh no, there's a hole in the boat. I have to like stop the boat. But if the outside world is a reflection of the in, like who put the hole in the boat? You know what I mean? That isn't to say that there's problems in the world, but like I more and more believe that like you just being you is all that is needed, actually. Like that's doing good in the world. You being yourself, you being like a bright shining light is doing more good than you being a martyr and trying to fix all the holes. Trying to like, uh-oh, the boat's sinking. I have to do all this good. And then maybe I get to live, you know? Be the one who's like just so friggin' like happy and secure. That does more good. Seeing that in someone does so much good. Like think of kids, you know? Think what goodness they exude. And they're not trying to be good. They just are it, you know? So that's actually more of what I am experiencing, if I'm totally honest. Yeah. Like, you know those days when you take in people differently? You see them differently and you're like, oh, hi. Like, you're like, I don't know if I've been seeing you. I even just had that last night. I was like, oh, I wasn't trying to, I just had like a really good day yesterday. I wasn't trying, you know, but people were showing up so lovely. And I felt like so able to meet them there. And I think that is something that you discover when you start to really cultivate like self-love, you know, and self-concept and self-worth. And you start to shine from the inside out. And then everyone gets shiny. And everything gets shiny. And you're not trying to fix anything because there's nothing to fix. It's hard to recover kind of when you see so much bad in the world, in my opinion. I mean, what's the alternative? I guess. This is like, I almost did the talk on this too, is like when you realize that you're in control of your mind and you're in control of your perspective and your outlook and your state of being. Like you are in control. You're choosing. You're electing every moment. You're like electing into office, you know, whatever state you want to exude. So like what's the choice? What's the alternative? Oh, you're just going to go like the world's bad. The world's a bad place. Okay? That's like okay. But you're making that choice. And you can make that choice as long as you want, but you know that there's another choice you could make. And the more you see that like I should just keep going. At least that's how I feel. It's like whenever I'm doubting, it's like, right, but what's the alternative? And I think of like reverting back to kind of depression or anxiety or doubting myself or whatever it is. It's like, but I know where I'm going back to. And why not? Why not do this? It might feel delusional, but just try it. Just experiment with it. Just be like, I'm willing to see the good. I'm willing to find out if there is goodness, you know? I'm willing to like live in a completely different state and see what's over there. Because why not? I have one life. Yeah. Don't let them overwhelm you. You have a choice. There's always bad in the world, no matter what. Yeah. I mean, I don't have the answers for that, but sometimes I guess I try to like think in a really, really big picture. Really big. Well, I think of it in a few different ways, and I'm still learning, but sometimes I think of it in a like really big picture way where I'm like, we're just little ants. And the badness is like nothing. It's all fine. It's all fine. We're all fine. You know, like this is just a blip. All of it, like humanity is a blip. Sometimes I think of it that way, and sometimes I think of it too like, if any of you guys have read like the Bhagavad Gita, like, you know, you're here to play your part. You're not here to judge it. You're here to play your part. And it's not for you to decide that it's bad, that it's terrible. It's for you to be who you are. And it's for you to find like the still place within yourself, you know, to focus on yourself and be the best that you can be. And from that place, then you're able to help the world that is right for you, you know? But to just like look at the state of the world and just fall into despair, that doesn't help anyone. That doesn't do anything to anyone. And there's a lot of people who have taken that path. But you're here. You're here. Like, you're choosing to be here. You choose to be here every day. So why are you still here? You know, like, this is really dark, but it's like, suicide, this is really dark, but it's like, suicide is an option for everyone. So, every day, we choose to live. We must choose for a reason. We're here. So you chose life every single day. So you must like it. You must like parts of it. You must. And there must also be like something, is kind of like is what I talked about with optimism, is it's like there must be some reason why you think it's beneficial to continue telling the story. Oh, the world is a bad and terrible place. Like you think it's safer to recognize that, or you think like you're saner to recognize that, or even just like everyone else agrees with you, so you're just like, oh great, or it's keeping you like, you know, it's justifying choices you've made, or like where you think you're at in the world, or why you see what you see. There's something that is a logical, like, beneficial position to take. And it's fine. If you want to take that, it's fine. But you're choosing it. Yeah, it's a sensitive topic. But sometimes I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, let's talk about death, guys. Like, it's the craziest thing. And I feel like we never talk about it. It's crazy. It's bananas. Like, do all of you remember when you first found out about death and you're like, wait, like, you can just, like, not be here anymore? That is so bizarre. And then we're just, like, not supposed to talk about it ever again. Unless, like, we have to. It's crazy. It's super interesting, too. Yes, that's great. Mini Muka. Yeah, the president isn't what you want. That's fine. If you're like, I don't like this, that's fine. You know, like, live for your future self, but also know that, like, the present is in a way, it's an echo, right? It's an echo of past beliefs, past thoughts, like, past perceptions, and that got, like, sent out. And so you're just like, there's a lag. And so keep going for that future self. And, like, this sounds weird, but it's like, so the present is in your perception. Do you know what I mean? Like, the present is in your awareness. So in this present moment, don't get wrapped up in, like, what's going on outside of you, but get wrapped up in, like, what you're cultivating right now, which it sounds like exactly what you're doing. You know, that future self, let that future, that, like, whatever you're going after, let that be alive here right now. Whether it looks that way on the outside yet. Are there people who believe that nothing exists? Like, nothing. I don't, not sure if I understand exactly. Like, nothing exists. What do you mean? Can you say more about that? Because I kind of think, like, are you talking about, like, after we pass, or after we pass? See, why do we have, like, these weird words about it? We pass on. How do I put this? Like, there's just isness. Like, nothing, there's no such thing as nothing. Does that make sense? There's no such thing. Like, it's not a thing. So it can't be a thing. Because nothing, when we name it, it becomes a thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now there's a nothing. Like, so, like, we imagine a big black room or whatever, and we go, that's nothingness. No, it's a something that we created of, like, our idea of a nothingness. So I actually think, like, the opposite is true, that, like, all there is everythingness. It's interesting that we don't have a word for that, is everythingness. Like, everything all at once, always. Which, in a strange way, amounts to, like, a vacuum or nothingness. You think he means after death? Yeah, there's absolutely people who are like, I think that's what scares them about it, is, like, they can't imagine it because it doesn't make sense. They think, like, it's going off a cliff and there's just nothing afterwards. But like, there's no such thing. And if there is such a thing, you won't be around to experience it. And how can there not be a you? You know what I mean? Anyway, but yes, there are people who believe that. Or who are afraid that's the case. I don't know if people like really, really, really deep down believe it. That's a really hard thing to actually believe in. Because we're so used to the idea of an isness, of like that there's a there, that there's life. I don't know if we can ever actually conceive of that. Wait, I want to see what. I feel good. I'm scared to be gone forever, but when I'm doing bad for some months and years, it would sometimes be great to fantasize to be gone. Yeah, maybe would be a topic. The thing is, what you're actually fantasizing in that moment is just like an end to your problems. You know, like that's actually what it is. You just like don't want to do the thing that you're doing anymore. So you don't actually want to be gone. You just don't want this anymore. And that's a really important distinction to make. And like really, yeah, look at that. That like, what is it you don't like so much about the situation? And if it's just like, I don't want this anymore. That's basically all it is like, I don't want this anymore. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. I don't like it. Okay, what do you want? Okay, don't do it anymore. Okay, what do you want? Like, you're perfectly justified not wanting a situation. Absolutely. Wait, what? My brother-in-law bought a package of nothing for $10 from Amazon as a Christmas gift for his mom. Wait, what? Really? Hi, Matt. Yeah, I know, EG. Oh, wow. No, but wait, like, I feel like what you're talking about, Manuel, like, thank you for voicing that. And really, like, it's all right to feel that way. It makes sense, you know, that you don't like your situation. Okay? You're not trapped there, though. You're not. It's a moment in time. And you can get out of there. And it also is like, it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind. So you actually do have all the freedom right now to feel completely differently. If you'll just put your mind to something else. And you'll just, like, water that every day, you know? And if you can get clear on what you don't like about the present moment, and you go, okay, what do I want? Like, what is it that is so painful about this particular experience? And okay, so I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to live there anymore. You know, like, where are you actually living? We're living up here, guys. We're living up here. So stop living there if it's that painful. All right. And I talk about this, I felt that way. Like, recently, I felt that way. And I could say for myself, actually, like, it was a relief to admit that to someone, that I felt that way. And then to actually hear myself out loud, and it was like, yeah, like, there is no gone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that exists. So I think, like, There's no getting out of this, whatever this is, like existence. There's no getting out of it. You're here. All right? And you have all the power and all the control. Because it's all, like, it's not about your situation. It's not about your circumstances. It's not. It's about, like, the stories you're telling yourself and what you've been keeping alive in your perception and in your beingness, okay? And so that is for you to choose every moment of the day. And the more that you, like, you only feel the way you feel because you've been, like, going in a certain direction that you've been going in and seeing things a certain way. So if you start choosing to see things differently, no matter what, and you go like, I don't care, because what's the alternative? I don't care. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to see things differently. I'm going to be different. I'm going to think different. I'm going to feel different. I have all the power here. And there's no other choice. Like, it's it. I'm alive. So there's no choice. I am. So there's no choice but to find a way for my being here to be a good thing. And some days the old story like comes up and it kicks you in the ass and you go, oh, that. I don't care about you anymore. I'm going to keep going in this direction. And I don't even fully know what this direction leads to. But I know where that leads. And I've done that. I'm done with that. And it can get better. It can always get better. Good night, Blackburn. All right. You believe me? Okay. Yeah. I think sometimes also it can help to like lighten up about it a bit. Because again, it's like, I have no choice. So, what if I just play a game? Like, how good can it get? Like, okay. If I'm like miserable, I might as well fill my mind with like the happiest thoughts I can possibly think of. And tell myself the most wonderful things about myself or the most wonderful things about like the people around me. I might as well. What I have nothing to lose. And like, how good can it get? How good can I feel right now? What's possible for me actually? What's possible for me to actually feel good? To actually want to be here? Like, sometimes I walk around my neighborhood and I go like, I feel euphoric. Like, that's the word that I use. I'm like, I feel euphoric. And I don't try to feel euphoric. I tell myself that. And I'm like, what would that be like to be euphoric? And I play that game like every day. Because why not? That's just as possible as feeling bad. Okay, I'm gonna go. Manuel, I hope you're, no, I know you're doing okay. You're gonna be fine. And we're all here for you too. And everyone on this live, okay? What a swell cult this is. It is a swell cult. It is. All right, guys. Yeah, everyone play that game. That's your assignment for the week. Go around, I feel euphoric today. And sometimes I do like, I feel euphoric about something, and I put in like I feel euphoric about me. Like, whatever it is. I feel euphoric about the state of the world. I feel euphoric about like, I don't know. And like, insert your word if that's not the word. But that's like, I try to stretch it. I'm like, and it's just an imagining game, you know? Oh, thank you. You matter to me, Nessa, for what it's worth. Thank you. You are. Okay. I hope I get everything on my grocery list too. Okay. All right, guys. I love you so much. I really do. I care for each and every one of you. You're all extraordinary and amazing and good and kind and compassionate and funny and intelligent and sexy and interesting and passionate and motivated and every other description I can think of. You are it, okay? You are it. So I love you and have a beautiful, beautiful week, okay? Bye.